What is up, YouTube gang? It is your boy Q. From the Financial Q, we have switched it up. And this time, for the last time, uh, I'm talking about this is a new series. Of course, this is a little bit better upgrade from me sitting at my other camera, which tends to lose focus. And I want to give y'all better quality when it comes to these videos and when it comes to finances, because I want it to be as in I'm upgrading, you're upgrading, we're learning from each other, and then y'all can kind of see how my life has changed as I read these books and go and follow these steps. So then y'all have something to actually look at while, you studying on your progress and your road to wealth. So I don't know why my eyes look so red, but probably because I'm tired, man. But when you get the spur in the moment, let's go ahead and get it. So today, over the first episode, probably wasn't the best one, but sometimes you just gotta ready, shoot, and then aim. And that is goes through a lot of different things in your life where some you can end up being stuck planning forever and you're not really planning, you're just stalling, or a lot of times it's a lot of hidden fear. So I'd rather just shoot and then I can come back and fix it later. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you like the content, subscribe, all that jazz. So, and this talk we will be talking about, and I have my trusty notes because there's always a lot to go over and break down when it comes to um, the secrets of the millionaire mind. So I want to focus on the roots that create the fruits. So when I say the roots that create the fruits, what do you think of, honestly, when I say roots and fruits? Just give y'all a second, and then I can also look over my notes. So imagine that there's a tree of life, correct? And there are fruits hanging from it. And you can visualize those fruits being pretty much our results. So from the things that you do, your labor, your hard work, what you invest your time into. And of course, there's always the examples of, if you spend all your day on games, your results will be on a game instead of real life. If you work out, your fruits would be you probably getting stronger, maybe a different build or the look that you're looking for. Just like job wise, focusing on family health, whichever. The tree that you decide to grow and you nurture, the fruits will come of it, whether that be good or bad. So there is always the question, and why some people might be watching this video, maybe even most people. What if we don't like our fruits? What if there aren't enough of them? They're too small, or they don't taste good? What do you think people tend to do whenever they don't like the fruits that come from the results from, their work or whatever they put in or whatever they've been doing? They tend to put more attention and focus on the fruits and our results. And with that being said, when you focus on your results and why you're getting not even why you're getting those results, when something bad happens, let's say you are studying on a test and you get an F and you only focus on the F, you can get stuck in that loop instead of actually digging for that reason why you got the F. You're stuck on the F itself instead of why and your habits behind it. So I want to ask, what creates these particular fruits? Like, out of all the work that you've done on, let's say, anything that you focused on this year, last year, just as your life as a whole, are you happy about the results that you've gotten so far? Are you proud of the results you've gotten? Could things be different? Which, of course, they can always be. But, how do you feel about what your labor has gotten you? And when you think about that, ask yourself what creates those results that you're getting right now. And honestly, speak honestly with yourself about what makes the results that you're getting. And do you keep getting the same fruits? Are you getting different fruits? Do you wonder why you getting the same fruit that tastes terrible, that does not fit what you're trying to do or what you're wanting? Yeah. Can you guess it? Can you guess what these reasons might be? I'll give you a minute just to take a look. It's actually pretty fun. I do enjoy talking about finances and then breaking down stuff. So Without further ado, it's what's underground that creates what's above the ground. It's what's invisible that creates what's visible. Because when you think about it, just like nature, it's the seeds that create the tree, which then create the fruit. If you are focused on the reason why, not even the reason, you're focused on the F itself, you're not looking at the tree. You're not looking at the seeds. Was it study habits? Was it you playing the game all day? Was it you focusing on different stuff and not giving enough attention to your studies? Like, what, have you ever taken a step back to take a look at the seeds of what you're trying to produce? And if those seeds are the right seeds that you're really wanting? Because, I could say I want to be a great athlete. Maybe I want to go to the gym, but if all I'm ever planting are seeds of just junk food, making non-habits, making excuses, then I can't be surprised at the fruits that sprout from it. And that's just me turning out not getting the shape that I want. What's invisible creates the visible, and that is a lot. That's very true when you think about it. When you think about your mindset, when you think about the things you do before you take action, everybody thinks their actions is what kind of is the most important, and it's not. Or a little bit allergies from the weather. What's important is your thoughts before the action. Those are the things that get you going. Those are the things that get you started whenever you are, in a rut, whenever you're trying to figure something out, whenever you are about to make an action. Because if you want to get rich, you'd have to find a way and think that you have to think this first. You know what I mean? If you want to work out, you have to think about working out first. If you want to do certain things, you think about it, and that's where your mindset and your planning comes in. It's the invisible before the actual visible. Because if I'm not thinking about working out, I'm most likely not going to be working out. And that's going to show in my actions. If I'm thinking about it, I'll probably more than likely go tend to do it, and that will show up in my actions and what, I do physically. So if you want to make a change or to change the fruits, you would first have to change the roots. And sometimes what's invisible is more powerful than what's visible. And so you would have to change some of your strategies. And this is still very much true about wealth. If you want to actually make money, if you want to actually learn how to save, if you want to actually have something, you have to see why you're doing certain things. What are the seeds that you have planted for yourself and getting these results on why you don't have any money, why you don't have an emergency savings account, why you don't have anything you invested in, why you have no assets, this, that, and the third. You have to see what about you and be honest with yourself that keeps getting these fruits that's from your labor. And labor could be anything. It could be a lack of labor or actual labor. So, are you messing around with your money where you spend your money at the drop of a hat? Or, you're an online shopper or habitual shopper. You're a person who tends to click buy first and not think later. Maybe you give out your money. Maybe you spend on, I won't say indulgence, but like pleasure spending. Like what are you sowing, but you're not really paying attention to like what you're planting out there that causes you to go through this? If you disagree, you're going against the laws of nature itself. Whereby what is underground creates what is visible, seeds and trees. It is the law of nature that the seeds itself, whether it be grass, plants, anything, usually you typically don't see. You always see the ending product of it. Just like I said, grass. You're not going to see the seeds of grass that's underground or the stems or any of the roots that's under the trees, everything. You're not going to ever see that until it actually shows up above ground and shows its final results. So just like us in our human nature, we fit in nature. We are humans. We are born here. We are, this, that, and the third. But there's nothing different between you and the plants when it comes to everything that I do and think will show up visibly at some point in my results. And as a human, we're a part of nature, not above it. When we align with the laws of nature and work on our roots, our inner world, our lives flow smoothly even when life gets rough. So whenever you start to understand yourself and you start to really sit down and be like, okay, so what am I doing in my life? Where am I spending my money? Where am I spending my time? Where am I putting my focus? Am I wasting time doing certain activities that I have no business doing? Am I helping myself by doing these activities, being around these people? Whatever is going in your life, actually take a look at and actually be aware of what you have going on, because a lot of these things are the cause of why you're at where you're at. You know what I mean? If I hang around certain people who are always negative, I'm most likely going to be negative. If I hang around people who, just go out and spend their money and not really ever care, I'm most likely going to be doing the same thing. You got to be careful about what you're planting in your garden if you want to actually be successful and actually to do something with your life. In every forest, on every farm, in every orchard on earth, it's what's underground that creates what's above ground. That's why placing your attention on the fruits that you have already grown is futile, which it is. There's no point in looking at the past. I mean, there's a point in learning from the past, but if you're looking at your results now and you're so focused on it that you cannot move forward, it makes things kind of futile and kind of moving forward and kind of get to where you're going to get to. You need to think about, how can I not make the same mistake or make these same choices again to get these same fruits? You can't change the fruits that's already hanging on the tree. You can change tomorrow's fruits, but you have to dig below the ground and strengthen the roots. And this is where your inner world learning and practice comes in. When you strengthen your roots, when you actually take a deep dive into yourself, you will find probably around the reasons why you are in the position that you're in, no matter what position that you're in, whether it be good or bad, whether you've been building good habits or you've been building bad habits, whether you've been taking the time to actually strengthen and focus on what you're trying to do. If I want to learn Spanish, I need to dig down and actually make habits and plant seeds where I practice my Spanish and I sit down and actually focus on it, versus just saying I'm going to do something, but then I plant seeds of not doing anything or not actually taking the time out to practice. So I just wanted to give that quick overview on that section of the book where it talks about the roots and the fruits, where you must be mindful about the things that you're doing, the people that you're around, the seeds that you sow for yourself that are bringing the fruits that you don't desire. If you are always broke, if you are always sad, if you're miserable, if you're dealing with certain things, sometimes it can actually be changed. Now, not everything, some things happen that's unfortunate to everybody. Some things may not be able to be changed, but a lot of things tend to be self-induced and self-inflicted on ourselves without us really even realizing it, because we get trapped in our results, which is either our suffering or our disappointment or whatever lack thereof, instead of looking at, okay, well, this is going on, maybe it's because I keep doing this, I keep interacting with this, I keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm not nurturing, and I'm starting to nurture my roots instead of trying to change the fruit that's already been grown. You can't change an apple after it's already left, formed and is ready to be picked. You can only change and nurture the seeds so then it grows into the trees, so then it grows into your apples, and so they're healthier. So yeah, it is your boy, The Financial Q. Hopefully y'all are doing great. Thank you again for listening to my TED Talk, and I love to do the next part on this book. So if you're liking it, like, subscribe. I'll be here to make more videos. But other than that, y'all have a great day and peace.